Nowadays, the video game market is overwhelmed by indie games with a wide variety of games with different prices as well. Whoa, that's expensive! And quality standards are not the same as some higher budget games, but low budget doesn't mean it's bad. In fact, sometimes limitations are what make devs and artists being creative. But usually indies it's something that I tend to avoid, mostly because devs have this urge to try to make this game sound like the super unique experience, but they usually forget the most important thing, the fun factor. And the game that I'm going to talk today, it's not overpriced or bad by any means. In fact, caught me by a very good surprise, a very pleasant one I might say. My name is Bernie and welcome to Out There Gamer, and today I'm going to be talking about Momodora Reverie under the Moonlight. Momodora, it's a game developed by Bomb Service, a very small team that are behind Momodora series, and yes, series, in fact, there are already 4 games developed, but I only figured out that after I beat the 4th game. Oh well. While this is the 4th game in the series, it's not really connected to the other previously 3 games released. In fact, you can play this game as its own adventure. The story itself is nothing really special. It's about this priestess named Koa, which wants to save the town because this town is cursed by some evil beings, those type of stories. It's not the thing you should pursue in this game, to be honest. I think the gameplay it's what really stands out in this game. And boy oh boy, the gameplay it's fucking amazing! Any self-respected fan of Castlevania or any 2D platformer will sure love this game, with a very precise combat that's all about timing and precision. Some even say that it has some Dark Souls vibe into it, but don't quote me on that because I never played a Dark Souls before. Yet. But the game gives you 2 weapons to choose from, a leaf, yes a leaf, that pretty much acts like a sword, very strong but also very short ranges as well, so meaning that it's a high risk but also a high reward weapon. Besides that, you have a bow that it's a low risk but low reward weapon. Basically you can actually eat enemies from a very long distance. Another cool feature, it's usually you don't see in many 2D platforms, its ability to roll, which is super useful on more tight combat situations. The platforming itself, it's very responsive and the double jump doesn't seem to be too high, making jumping long distances more challenging. Another very cool feature about this game is be able to use items as a way to help you out on your journey. For example, there's items to make enemies drop more money, or there's items to, for example, be able to identify whenever a place has a secret door or something like that, which is really cool and improves the gameplay even further and makes the game a little bit more easy, because I have to tell you guys, this game it's actually very challenging, especially in the beginning where you don't really know where's the enemy placements and how they hacked and whatnot. And this game, guys, is actually very challenging. It's not a cakewalk by any means. In fact, the first hour, I think most of the people will struggle a bit because the game is so hard on a player, and especially how fast your life bar depletes. Even though the game doesn't allow you to upgrade your life bar, what the game allows you is to upgrade the number of potions you can use in the game, meaning that you can heal during the battle, but the problem is healing make you vulnerable for a few seconds, so in the more intense situations it could be hard to actually do healing. You know, you have to be very smart when it comes to approaching enemies and which enemy you should hit first or not, but it's very good. I like that kind of challenging, but nothing unfair by any means. It just requires a certain level and enemy's pattern memorization, but once you get the grip of the traps, it's all smooth sailing, at least was for me. Bosses, in the other hand, they weren't that hard, to be honest. In fact, I think they were kind of uncreative towards the solution to beat them, because most of the time I just used the bow and it was just fine to kill most of the enemies. And did I mention this is a metroidvania game? This game gives you the freedom to the player play the levels by their own will. There's often a lot of paths that are blocked because you don't have a certain ability or item, but for most of the part the game gives you plenty of freedom from the beginning, and damn, those levels are gorgeous. Yes, it's pixel art, yes, it's overused by indie games, but this one doesn't feel like cheap by any means. It's really beautiful craft game with a fantastic animations. The levels are full of detail with moving objects, every character animates very well, and I think the footage speaks for itself, and every location adds its own different vibe. And I want to give props to developers for the music itself. It's outstanding and thankfully wasn't another 8-bit soundtrack, and it fits very well the mood of the game, and it doesn't really interfere with the gameplay but gives a great tone to the overall game presentation. I love this game to the point that I spent all my Saturday playing this game for one single setting. It took me about 5 hours to be beaten. Yeah, it's not like a very long game by any means, but for 10 euros it's not a very bad deal in my perspective. While I really enjoyed this game and I think it was such a great surprise, I couldn't help but think that this game should be on a console, to be honest, and systems like the 3DS and the Vita would be perfect for this type of games, and I kind of wish that developers supported these games for those systems, because a lot of my viewers, a lot of my friends don't really play on a PC, even though this is the type of game that could run on almost any PC. But it would be great to have these games on any other platforms besides PC. But again, this is just a small nitpick I have about this game, and I think that's all I have to say about this game. I really enjoyed it, and it was such a nice surprise. I had to make a video talking about it. Hopefully you guys enjoy my video. That's all I have to say for today, guys. Again, thank you for watching. See you guys next video.